Hi everyone, it's a really beautiful April 22nd, 2014. I'm in my usual filming spot. I don't know why I always feel compelled to film here, of all places. Maybe I want an archive of some kind to show how the seasons change here. It's one of my favorite spots. In Kansas anyway. I was just thinking on today, which is Earth Day, and I work in an environmentally focused workplace. I was thinking about this service in Germany called Mitfahrgelegenheit .de, which is the German I forgot the word since library school, but the D denotes that it's Deutschland, Germany. We really need something like that in the United States, and what I believe that literally translates as is rideshare. And in Germany, I never used it, but what you do is you go to this website and then you link in where you're coming from and your destination, and people who have posted this same or similar journey will appear, and they quote a price that they're going to charge for an additional passenger or passengers to save on the extremely high petrol costs in Europe and have more of a direct link. You don't necessarily have to deal with waiting for a train or unusual departure times, and sometimes they're able to take you somewhere that's not like a central location. You don't have to make connections. And I think we could really benefit from something like that in the United States, although we don't have the same homogeneity and limited range of social experiences and income that a lot of European countries might have. So here, I think it would be shot down. Wow, I don't remember them blooming like this last year. And I don't know what this plant is actually. The pollinators have come back very nicely this year so far. I've not seen this many bumblebees in a few years. At any rate, I think that would be a tremendous benefit to the society here, but it's not going to have a leg to stand on with the kind of negative press it would get over here. And I thought that was a person watching me, but that's actually a deer. I don't think you'll be able to see it. I think a mother deer by the attentive look she's giving. Usually they don't pay that much attention to people, but she really is. And this is an unusual place for a branch too. There's nothing immediately around that it could fall from. But Mitfahrgelegenheit is something to consider, and something I think about a lot too. I try to not overuse my vehicle. I have two right now. A small, compact, falling apart car for very short journeys, and a very small SUV for longer stints. And the way the fuel efficiency and insurance works out is that it's more economical for me to keep both. Oh, see here are the, if you see straight ahead, those must be the babies. And they're also quite alert. For the time being, anyway. I think they bed down in this little cluster of trees. Part of the time, anyway. As I mentioned in my last video, I'm not sure how I'll post them. I'm going to Vancouver in a few weeks, and it really, I can't possibly be looking forward to it more than I already am. It's unusual for me to have something planned this far in advance in detail, and that's because it's for work. Okay, see it now? She's alert, but not paranoid or anything. And then they're over here. And you can see why they have the color that they do, as they blend magnificently. Yeah, just very everybody's minding their own business. Except me, maybe. Earth Day, while there have been improvements made over the last century in the West, I think a lot of it just has to do with nature's own resilience in handling these things, or the challenges that we've presented. I hope this bird isn't sick or something, because it can't seem to get any kind of momentum to take flight. Oh. Hopefully this divergence will help a little bit. Go that way, and I'll go this way. Okay, yeah. And what else is happening? I very much recommend a TV show from Denmark. I've mentioned it before, called Borgen, or it looks like Borgen in English. I finally got to watch the second series of it from Denmark. See, there they are again. Oh, there's 3. Again, I don't know if you'll be able to see them, because they're perfectly adapted to this type of grass. And you've seen me film deer before. You can see their 3 little faces. Borgen from Denmark is all about both political and personal life blended. There's a fictitious first female prime minister of Denmark who takes over as part of a coalition, which is difficult for Americans in particular to understand, since we don't have the parliamentarian system. But she she wins. Well, I shouldn't tell you this, but it's sort of inherent in the way the previews would go anyway. And then the machinations that try to bring her down as threats to the social state come about, which, strange enough, ended up happening in Denmark not long after this show premiered, with a female PM, and some of the scandals that came were not far-fetched compared to the plot of the show. And I had watched the complete first series in Spain with my Danish host sister a couple of years ago, and I finally got to watch the second series over the past week, and the sophistication of problems gets more intense because Denmark is one of the few European countries to partner with the US on a lot of issues, particularly with Iraq. And I can't remember from having lived there in 2005 how much public support there really was for that. But it's been kind of a puppet state of the US in that regard for a while, which is kind of surprising for a welfare state. But the then Prime Minister, Anders Fogh Rasmussen, was educated in the US. I want to say he went to Georgetown, or his son did. I can't quite piece it together now. But there's this weird juxtaposition in Denmark, balancing between European values in terms of social welfare and American-style globalist mindset. And that comes out a bit more in the second series, which I hope you will take the time to see, because there's a lot of unexpected things that go on behind the scenes, where you don't have the over-the-top House of Cards type of corruption going on, but more of a consensus-oriented background, which is the backbone of the Danish state and society in a way, which is positive, I think, for governance, but it can be negative at the street level in your social interactions if you're not fully immersed in it. Anyway, I hope that all is well in your world, and I appreciate you watching yet again.